Architecture is about evolution, not revolution. When building styles shift, they provide a direct reflection of a society's changing needs. British architecture moves through three distinct phases: the functional survival of the medieval era, the grand private displays of the early modern period, and the corporate necessity of the 20th century. Analyzing these buildings provides a roadmap of a society's priorities. Tracing the shift from stone fortifications to glass facades reveals exactly where power resided during each era. Early British building was driven by the basic requirements of survival. While the Anglo-Saxons possessed a sophisticated style, they built primarily in wood, meaning almost nothing survives to bear witness to their achievements. Following 1066, a doctrine of fitness for purpose defined the landscape. Gothic cathedrals were fierce tools for devotion, while the turrets and battlements of Norman castles served strictly military ends. 16th century security transformed the British home. As the threat of attack faded, houses abandoned their defensive, inward-facing courtyards to face the world directly. These new outward-looking houses prioritized symmetrical exteriors. Because glass was an incredibly expensive commodity, the use of vast expanses of it became a physical statement of elite status. Once the threat of military attack faded, homes functioned as massive billboards for wealth. Physical security was the prerequisite for this architectural vanity. During the 1640s, the English Civil War forced nobles into exile across Europe. There, they were exposed directly to French, Dutch, and Italian architectural trends. With the restoration of Charles II in 1660, returning royalists used the heavy, rich British Baroque style to reassert their authority. The architecture served as a physical expression of an absolutist ideology. By the 19th century, mass production allowed for structures of a previously impossible scale. Joseph Paxton's Crystal Palace utilized industrial iron and glass to house the Great Exhibition of 1851. This shift toward industrial perfection triggered an immediate backlash. Reformers like William Morris rejected the dehumanizing effects of factories and demanded a return to handcrafted pre-industrial manufacturing. The 19th century was defined by this conflict between the efficiency of the machine and the authenticity of the individual craftsman. Britain initially rejected the early 20th century modern movement. Staid establishment architects like Edwin Lutyens continued to produce traditional country houses for an outmoded landed class. The situation changed after the Second World War. By 1945, the government faced a desperate requirement for cheap housing that could be produced with extreme speed. Local authorities met this crisis by adopting modernist techniques. They utilized metal frames, concrete cladding, and prefabricated elements to accelerate reconstruction. Economic necessity drove the transition to the modern era. The urgent requirement for rapid, low-cost housing made modernist techniques the only viable solution for post-war Britain. Today, corporate bodies and local authorities have replaced private individuals as the primary patrons of architecture. While postmodernism attempted to bring back historical borrowings in the late 20th century, that style is now showing signs of age. As societal structures continue to shift, the next phase of architecture remains uncertain. We are waiting to see what priorities the next generation of buildings will reveal. Brought to you by the IELTS Focus.